Before we continue with this video, I want to invite you to get the official Mengao products right now on YouTube Shopping here on the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. We'll turn things around and still achieve something important this year. We've only won the Carioca so far, but we still have the Brasileirão, Libertadores, and maybe something even bigger. Believe and show up for Mango's games. There's plenty of Libertadores left. Flamengo will have an even better campaign. You can go to Rio de Janeiro to watch the two games coming up now, against Cusco and against Estudiantes. You can call Aroldo's Caravan. There's a package with the ticket included and ground support as well. You get a good seat at the Maracanã. Contact Aroldo's Caravan now and grab your jersey here on YouTube Shopping. It's Mengao after all. Hey, it's Mengao. There's no other way. We know the fans are upset, but that's it. Let's move forward, turn things around just like last year, and we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again, God willing, this year, 2026. Hey guys, check this out. I'm going to start by telling you that Flamengo's elimination from the Copa do Brasil didn't go unnoticed, okay? It didn't go unnoticed. President Luiz Eduardo Baptista BAP is outraged. He's frustrated. He really wanted Flamengo to win the real treble, not the Carioca, Libertadores, and Brasileiro. Like Flamengo, who have won the Brazilian Championship, Copa do Brasil, and Libertadores. Flamengo BAP wanted Flamengo to win the three most important titles in South America, right? 2 national titles, since each country has 2 national championships and 2 titles, and the Libertadores title, and then, God willing, the Club World Cup. Now, with the elimination, the information coming in is that BAP is furious. In fact, we even had a statement from him recently, right? He spoke before the match, okay? It was before the match. He made it clear that he wanted Flamengo to win the treble. And this plan ended up going wrong. So for those who think, oh, everything is fine at Flamengo, Jardim just arrived, BAP, he's a guy who likes results. He is obviously still satisfied with Leonardo Jardim's work. But my friends, the warning light is always on because he likes results. He was very upset about this elimination, okay? So Flamengo's elimination completely frustrated President BAP's plans. Hours before the match, during the event in São Paulo, he had declared his desire to win this unprecedented treble, Copa do Brasil, Brasileirão, and Libertadores in the same season. I'll repeat, it's not Flamengo's usual treble of the Carioca, Brasileirão, and Libertadores, or Carioca, Copa do Brasil, and Libertadores. He's talking about Flamengo winning the Supercopa last year in 2025. Supercopa against Botafogo, Brasileirão over Palmeiras, Libertadores over Palmeiras. And they won other tournaments too, right? They won the Challenger Cup, won the Carioca, won the Derby of the Americas. That was 6 titles, right? It's a sextuple crown, but he wanted the real triple crown. So BAP also mentioned some other important situations for us to bring up. He sent a message to Leila Pereira, who must be celebrating Flamengo's elimination. Palmeiras gets knocked out of the Copa do Brasil almost every year and rarely wins it, right? He said, I have no issue with Leila. A league without Flamengo or Palmeiras is unthinkable. Off the field, the clubs should be friends, but if someone thinks they're going to throw a tantrum and for whatever reason I'm going to treat them differently, good luck. The clubs remain, the directors are temporary. Him himself, right? Including himself in that. Besides the message to the Palmeiras president, BAP criticized the contracts with Globo and explained why he decided to fire Felipe Luiz. He was sure he would lose the Carioca. He didn't want to lose the Carioca. Controversial statement from BAP about Felipe Luiz, huh? He was sure he would lose the Carioca. Then BAP talks about Leila Pereira, saying he has no problem with her, right? That was at the event BAP attended. I'll also share some other important quotes from President Luiz Eduardo Batista, known as BAP. And then he says it's impossible to think about creating the league without Flamengo and Palmeiras. And off the field, the clubs should be friends, okay? But he says he won't bow down, never to Leila Pereira like others do. The clubs remain, the directors are temporary, as he said. And he talked about the fact that he was sure Flamengo would lose the Carioca Championship, and that's why he let Felipe Luiz go. That's what I tell you guys. He has no attachment to the coach or the player. If he feels that things aren't going the way he wants, yeah, he lets them go. That's why I said it. He's very upset, very annoyed with this situation, okay? Frustrated because just yesterday he talked about wanting to win the real treble. So this is really frustrating, BAP. Now it's time to bounce back. They reduced the dates on the calendar. Flamengo will be able to play against Mirassol with less pressure. There'll be time for that because there won't be the Copa do Brasil, but Flamengo loses a lot of money. They miss out on significant prize money from advancing in the Copa do Brasil as Flamengo is eliminated in their first round, right? That's unprecedented, right? I don't remember, okay? Maybe it happened some year, but I don't remember Flamengo being eliminated in the first phase of the Copa do Brasil, which is now called the fifth phase. That's surreal, okay? Clearly, BAP has every reason to be frustrated. And, you know, in case bad things keep happening, that's always the way. As we know, Felipe Luiz won everything, but he thought he was going to lose the Carioca, so he just fired him. He even said that himself yesterday. My friends, BAP Luiz Eduardo Baptista talked about the possibility of signings, talked about it, and answered questions about Luis Henrique, okay? It was at an event, right? He spoke with the press, spoke with the people from GE, and look at what he said here about the transfer market, about the possibility of signing Luis Henrique, okay?
Happy with the squad he has?
Happy with the squad he has.
You can't ignore the opportunities, the possibilities you have in the transfer market.
A huge number of people saying they're happy with the squad they have, but you can't ignore the opportunities in the transfer market. I totally agree with him.
Not looking at the opportunities, not ignoring the opportunities you have. Perfect.
That's it.
If he wanted to go to Europe, we wouldn't be able to compete with a European offer.
If he wanted to stay in Europe, there's no way.
Variables that only depend on desire, the public's money. Only those able will succeed if there are possibilities.
So Flamengo will consider the possibility of signing Luis Henrique. If there's a chance, Flamengo will sign him. Flamengo is considering the possibility. If so, they'll sign him. He made it clear that Flamengo will go after those names in the transfer market. Flamengo is indeed interested in always looking to strengthen the squad. He used Paquetá as an example. And he also talked about the issue of Flamengo's 3 points from the walkover. It should be decided by May 19th or 20th. Let's see how lucky we get. He said they're sure to get those 3 points.
He said there's absolutely no way they won't get those points.
He's not, but still.
The car fans, when we welcome them here as Chimbave, we have a program of
hospitality. Flamengo welcomes the fans well.
It's working really well, so we are welcoming everyone very well. We are welcoming everyone very well because we're going to make it. They looked for the center's deficit to say, look, it's going to be a mess. It's not going to be calm here. No one is going to change at the center. You see what you're thinking, you know? Regarding the stadium, we're meeting with the club's management, so there won't be a game here today. After that, jobs started to increase. It wasn't perfect. We didn't have any kind of problem. Flamengo fans, I went up. I was very well received. It was already a moment, but they contributed with what they wanted. Released.
And the game was canceled. You'll be able to do it now that you've been eliminated from the Copa do Brasil.
Why do I have to play against them? Because soon the group stage will be over. If the result of this game is crucial for qualifying for the South American tournament, if Estudiantes is in first or second place, that's true. You can cut.
I said until May 20th.
We have to decide this, so as far as I know, the decision will be made on the 19th, but I believe it's the 19th. They will, I don't just know, but we will. I've already figured out a whole part of the administrative protocol that will culminate, I hope, in Flamengo's 3 points.
God willing, right? That's what has to happen, even with Flamengo eliminated from the Copa do Brasil. There's no room to play another game before the 20th when the group stage ends. There's no way to play. So what are you going to do? Flamengo has to have those points. Flamengo has the right to those points. That's the reality. BP is absolutely right about that. To talk about last night's game, Jorginho said the following: we have to believe in what we've been doing. We were on a really good upward trend. Unfortunately, this loss comes at a delicate moment. It means we're out. Yeah. Really, man, he says that they scored the goals and we made mistakes when we had our chances. We have to calmly look at how many chances each side had. I believe we ended up having a few more chances, but they were more effective in finishing. Now it's time to turn the page. Unfortunately, we're not continuing in this competition, which we wanted to keep going and win, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. Yeah. That's it. He said we must believe in our work. Yeah, and obviously it ends up having an impact in these first few months. Our goal was to advance, but we have to keep working and get back to winning games. That's how it was in the past. Flamengo was eliminated from the Copa do Brasil and ended up winning the Brazilian Championship and the Libertadores. Do things repeat themselves exactly from year to year? No. But I think it's important to focus now on bouncing back from this setback, this elimination. Yeah. And this elimination caused a huge loss. Flamengo has a gigantic, massive loss in the Copa do Brasil, which has the biggest prize money in Brazilian football. We could reach 70 million reais in prize money. Flamengo took a huge financial hit. Flamengo earned only 2 million reais in prize money. If they had gone a little further, they would have earned about 70 million. They didn't even need to be champions. If they were champions, they could have earned 91 million. Flamengo missed out on earning 91 million and took home only 2 million in a first stage that they call the fifth stage. Yeah. The club faces a major financial hit after missing out on 3 million by not reaching the round of 16. And it also lost the chance to earn up to 91 million if it made a run all the way to the title. Considering the payouts for the next rounds and the prize awarded to the champion, and then it also loses the chance to broadcast games. Flamengo doesn't broadcast the Copa do Brasil. Flamengo only broadcasts the Brazilian League, not the Libertadores or Copa do Brasil. But Flamengo loses a lot of ticket sales. They have a huge loss from decisive knockout games at Maracanã and the gate revenue they bring. Flamengo lost a lot of money. He's talking about the chance to make money. If they made it to the final, they didn't even need to be champions. If they made it to the final, they'd earn 70-something million, 60-something million. If they won 91 million and then the ticket sales, then you're talking about around 150 million, including ticket sales up to the final. Flamengo lost a lot of money, guys. This elimination caused an indescribable loss for Flamengo. That's the reality. There are a lot of fans asking about Flamengo not being interested. Subconsciously, the player may already want to go through the Copa do Brasil half-heartedly, not wanting to be champions. Because staying in the Copa do Brasil also messes up the schedule. That's the last thing. It's the last competition they have to play. Then you lose your vacation. Oh, there are players already thinking about the World Cup. Oh, Jardim didn't really want this Copa do Brasil. I've heard all kinds of comments. And then Jardim, the coach of Flamengo, said the following: our goal was to keep all three competitions open, but we ended up losing. It increases the pressure for us to win the other competitions. But the responsibility is the same. The attitude was there. The players tried their best. With 26 shots, we couldn't score a goal. There are days when things just don't happen. Some days things just don't work out. I'm saying here, and I told the players, it wasn't for lack of effort. The players gave their best. Man, 26 shots, and we didn't score a goal. And then he responded to being asked about BAP's statement expressing the desire to win the treble. I didn't hear the president speak, but Flamengo has that ambition. The treble, but it's always hard to achieve. One of your colleagues said that no team has ever won it. That's why it's hard to achieve. But that doesn't mean we didn't want to be in all three competitions. We failed. We weren't competent enough to advance in this round. It was really bad. It was really bad. A huge embarrassment. It's Flamengo's worst performance in the history of the Copa do Brasil, and that can't happen with the squad you have at your disposal. Do you get it, Leonardo Jardim? You can't allow that. Your squad is stronger than Jorge Jesus's was. Flamengo now has more options than in 2019. That's it. Please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Thanks for being here. Greetings, black and red fans. This is Flamengo. Take care. Thanks. I'm out.